भवतो सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिस्सीदसादनम्। ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं समस्तजनकल्याणी निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं वासुदेवेन्द्रयोगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधोऽभिधीयते। Yesterday we saw the concept of the devtas. The concept of the devtas was seen yesterday. That why the devtas are important and how they work. So we saw that it was written Manaso Devta Chandramaha. Through the sattvic ansh of all the 5 elements are made the mind. The mind, man, buddhi, chitta and ahankar. Mind, intellect, ego and memory, chitta. All these 4 have been made. So we saw that each and every mind stuff, the mind, intellect, they all have their devtas. So the devta of the mind was the Chandrama that we saw yesterday. So the Chandrama, what does it do? All the characteristics of the Chandrama are seen in the mind also. The Chandrama, the moon outside, has the property of waxing and waning. Similarly, our mind also sometimes goes up and down, up and down. It has got the power of nourishment through thoughts. Similarly, the moon also nourishes. Like the moon is very cooling. Similarly, our mind also gives us emotions, has different types of emotions in it. It gives us happiness. It is rasa pradhan. So it has got the power of pointing options as well. It gives us options. It is the seat of all emotions, compassion, love, etc., surrender, all arise from that mind only. So mind is, the devta of the mind is the Chandrama. So power has to be with a deity. So that deity is the Chandrama. Then we come to Buddhehe Brahma. The deity of Buddhi is Brahmaji. Like Brahma creates, similarly Buddhi also creates. It gives certain thoughts. In everything is Whenever anything gross has to be in subtle form outside for initially. First, it is in the uh, subtle form. Afterwards, it comes to gross form outside. So in the mind, it is in Sukshma Roop. So in the mind, this buddhi only gives us the thoughts, the Nishchayatmika buddhi. It gives us thoughts, it gives us some conclusion. So right conclusion means that intelligence is guided by that Brahmaji only. If the conclusion is not right, that means the buddhi is not right now. Brahmaji is upset with us. So similarly, the whole, if we have in Samashti, in Vyashti, as an individual, in microcosm, if we have this buddhi in us that can create, the Samashti also should have that aspect of that buddhi that creates. And that is called Hiranyagarbha. That is called Hiranyagarbha in the whole Srishti. And that the other name of that is Brahma. Brahma, Mahat, Hiranyagarbha, Brahma, they are all the same, not Brahma. It is Brahma, Brahmaji, the deity. Okay, so thought body of the whole world is called Hiranyagarbha. And there we are all one. There we are not different. There everybody is one. Okay, so if that Brahmaji is happy with us, then we will get very good thoughts. We will connect to higher thoughts. We'll keep connecting to higher thoughts. So if buddhi is good, that means Brahmaji is expressive in you. It does not mean that you have made the thought. See, it is the thought has to be different. Like you cannot make a thought. What have you done? You have invoked the thought. We invoke when we are creating something, like musicians, they create something. Like an artist, he creates something. He has to have that intuitive power, and that intuitive power he gets when that devta is happy with him. Then there will be miraculous powers in him. Then there will be perfection in him. Only when that devta is happy. Okay, so this was Buddhe Brahma. Buddhi, the devta of Brahma, devta of Buddhi is Brahmaji. Then Ahankarasya Rudraha. Devta of Ahankar is who? He is Rudra. Rudra means what? The capacity to hold the creation and the disassociation of the creation. That is called Rudra. The disassociation, the dissolving of the creation, that power is with the Rudra. So Rudra, how will we define Rudra? There are two types. First definition says Rodayati iti. Rodayati iti, one who makes everyone cry. That is called Rudra. One who makes everybody cry, that is called Rudra. He disassociates the Jeev with the world. He is called Rudra. How do we know that how do we know that he dissolves? How do we know that he dissolves? Because that dissolution is seen in our Veshti also, in microcosm also. In microcosm also, we can see that we go to sleep and we see the death also. So these are two kinds of dissolutions. Every day we go to sleep and we dissolve our world. So that is a type of dissolution. And ultimately, when we leave the body for good, that is called dissolution. That is called death. So in our Vyashti also, in microcosm also, we can see these two powers acting. So similarly, that power also in the Samashti also is having this power to dissolve everything. Okay, so he Rodayati Sarvan iti Rudra. And the second definition is what? Ritam Dravayati. Ritam Dravayati, that which takes away all the sorrows. Ritam Dravayati, that which takes away all the sorrows, that is also called Rudra. Okay, जो दुखों को हर ले, दुखों को हर ले, वो रुद्र है. Ritam Dravayati. So destruction, we feel that destruction is very sorrowful, very painful. But if anything is not destroyed, then new creation is not possible. If we just keep on buying and keep on collecting things, then our house will be a mess someday, unless we clear the things out that we don't require also. So that clearance is done by this Rudra only. So destruction is the most positive construction, most important construction in this world. And how will we, otherwise, how will we have our fruits? Fruits of action, how will we have? Karma phal, how will we have? How will the jeev get his paristhiti? How will he get his sukh or bhog? How will he get? Only due to this devta of death, he gets it. So this was what? Ahankarasya Rudra. Last is Chittasya Vasudevah. Chittasya, of the Chitta, it is Vasudev. Vasudev means what? Vasati Sarvasmin iti. That which goes through all, it is called Vasu. Vasudev was holding the sanskar of all the jivas. This Vasudev only holds the sanskar of all the jivas for a long time in Pralay. When we are in Pralay, when we are all in a state of there's a state of lethargy. We can say there's a state of sleep, a big sleep, and that time all our sanskars are held by someone. Who's that? That is the Vasudev only, who was holding our sankalp, whatever sankalp we had last birth, that with that only we are born again in this birth. So this is the way that Vasudev holds our chitta, holds our sanskars in the chitta. Brahmaji was asked to do tapasya. When Brahmaji wanted to create everything, Brahmaji was asked to do tapasya and to bring that chitta only from the past to the present, so that you can see everything. And then Brahmaji could see, as per that thoughts only, he made everything as per last kalpa, as per last creation. So micro level and the macro level, they are same. The devtas act the same. So we get all the vasanas, we get everything back when we come to waking state. From a deep sleep state, when we come to Jagrata Avastha, all the vasanas, the sanskars, everything we get. From where? From this Vasudeva only. Someone is remembering our knowledge. Someone is keeping that knowledge with him. Okay, only with that knowledge, transactions are possible. Only with that knowledge, I remember everything. So who is the holder of that? That the holder is Vasudeva only. Okay, so this is told to us so that we don't feel that we are doing this. It is my thought. At present, I have a lot of identification with my body, with my mind, with my intellect, with my notions, with my impressions, with my experiences, that I have this experience, I have this notion, I feel like that, I am emotional, I am very happy today, I am very excited today. All these are what I feel, my identifications. But here, because devtas have been brought, so it is to indicate that these are not yours, but the devtas are working through it, so that we have a little bit of anatma buddhi in them, little bit of unreality in them. These are not real. These are not, this is not me. These are the things, these are the instruments. Like yesterday we saw, these three are karan, these three are instruments. And who is the holder? The karta is the holder. The ahankar is the holder. The karta is the doer. The ahankar is the doer. So ahankar is making these instruments work. Man, buddhi and chitta. So I should not identify myself with them too much, because his devtas are there, they are making it work. And they are very, very powerful. Like Manthara's buddhi was changed by Saraswati Ma. Manthara's buddhi was changed by Saraswati Ma. So these devtas are very, very powerful. So we neglect and insult others for these only, for these things only. We feel that that person is very dull, that person is not up to the mark, but actually that devta is working through them. So we should always feel that that devta is there. Always gross comes from subtle, and subtle comes from gross. These two things keep on changing, gross and subtle and gross. they both keep on changing. Okay, so similarly here also there is a power through which that subtle becomes gross, and the gross will again become subtle. Like the water, if we take the example of water, the water is gross. We can see the water. Then it evaporates. It becomes the vapors. The vapors again condense to form a cloud. They are condensed to form a cloud. Again, the vapors are not seen. The vapors are not seen, but the clouds are seen. And then again, it is seen, but it is far away. Then again, it rains. Again, that water comes to us. So again, it has grossified. So from the gross comes the subtle, subtle from subtle comes the gross. This is continuously changing. So whole process is matter converted into energy, energy converted into matter. This continuously goes on and on. Okay, so external body is same from top to toe. Okay, but there are different powers in our body that are working. Our attention should go where? To the devtas behind the power behind the sense organs, to the devtas behind the sense organs. Our attention does not go there. So energy centers are operating in the body. There are various energy centers. All these are operated in the body. By whom? By these devtas only. Okay, without these different experiences won't be there. Without these devtas, without these powers, we cannot experience the world. Okay, so all these three, the trio is present. Trio of what? The rajas, sattva, and tamas. These three things are there, are present there, and they make us do the things. They make us do the activities. So mind is an amalgamation of all the five elements. Mind has got all the five. Mind is not made up of one only. Like the eyes are made up of, tell me, eyes are made up of what? Which ansh eyes are made up of? Which ansh? The power to see is made up of which ansh? Follow? Eyes are made up of which ansh?
Agni.
Fire.
Agni.
Fire. Which fire? Sattva, rajas, tamas.
Sattvic. The sattvic element.
Rajas fire is in the feet.
No, the sattvic element
This is sattva because it is gaining knowledge. Action, movement is in the feet. So this is the sattvic aspect of the fire is in the eyes. So similarly, all the three have made it possible for us to act. Okay, so all the power of movement create different actions in different areas. So nature of movement is different in different centers. So speech and ear, they are connected. Speech and ear are connected. Feet and eyes are connected. Smell and anus are connected. Tongue and genitals are connected. Hands and touch is connected. Skin. Okay, so they have something in common. That is why perceiver controls the perceived. The perceiver is always controlling the perceived. So similarly, eyes and feet, they go together. So this is the power aspect, physical aspect. Similarly, we have got what? Pancha pranas also. The next paragraph we had read that there are pancha pranas also. एतेषां पंचतत्त्वानां मध्ये आकाशस्य राजसांशात् वागेन्द्रियं सम्भूतं. This we have seen already, that from the rajas aspect of Akash has come the power of organ of speech. Then Vayo rajasanshat, from the Vayu air, Rajasanshat, Panindriyam hands. Then Vanne Rajasanshat, Padendriyam feet. Then Jalasya Rajasanshat, Upasthendriyam, this also we saw genitals. Then Prithivya Rajasanshat, Budendriyam, anus, this also we saw. All these are Rajasic aspect, Rajas aspect of the 5 elements. Then the last line comes, Etesham Samashti Rajasanshat Pancha Pranaha Sambhuta. When they are amalgamated together, when they are combined, they become the pranas, the 5 pancha pranas, because there is action in that. It is action oriented. What are the 5 pranas? Prana, Apan, Vyan, Udan, and Saman. All of them have different functions. Physiological functions are governed by them. Physiological functions are governed by these 5 pranas. Okay, so when prana is there, jab urja hogi, so then at that time we feel energetic. When this prana's energy level is very good, then we are vibrant. We are very vibrant. When sattva guna is good, we are very dynamic. We are very illuminating. We are very quiet. But when there is a rajas, that time there is dynamism in there, vibrancy, brilliancy, everything. Okay, so brilliancy is sattvic, dynamism is rajasic. Like that it works. So the gross 5 elements which are perceptible is grossified. The gross 5 elements that are perceptible, that can be seen, that can be perceived, these are all grossified. So next paragraph. We will read the next paragraph. Etesham panchatattvanam tamasanshat. Etesham panchatattvanam tamasanshat panchikrita panchatatvani bhavanti panchikaranam katham iti chet etesham panchamahabhutanam tamasansha swarupam ekam bhutam dvidha vibhajya ekam ardham prithaka tushnim vyavasthapya aparam ardham चतुर्धा विभज्य स्वार्धम अन्येषु अर्धेषु स्वभाग चतुष्टय संयोजनं कार्यं तदा पंचीकरणं भवति एतेभ्य पंचीकृत पंचमहाभूतेभ्यः स्थूल शरीरं भवति. So now what is this saying? This is saying itesham panchikrit tamasanshat. What from the tamas ansha, what is happening? Panchikrit panchatatvani bhavanti. We saw that from the sattvic ansha has come the sense organs of perception. From the sattvic ansha, sense organs of perception. And when they collectively make the mind stuff, man, buddhi, chitta, hankar. Then when it comes to rajas ansha, what is happening? From that rajas ansha, sense organs of action have been made, and when they come in collectively amalgamated, that becomes the pancha prana. Then we come to tamas ansha. I hope this is clear. From the tamas ansha, what is happening now? These 5 gross elements will be coming. Panchikrita panchatatvani bhavanti. From the tamas ansha, now the 5 grossified elements are being made. So Panchikaram, what is Panchikaram Katham iti je? What is that Panchikaranam? What is this Panchikaran? Etesham Panchamohabhutanam Tamasansha Swarupam Ekam Bhutam Vidha Vajya Ekam Ardham Prithak Tushtim Vyavasthapya. So this is giving us the procedure of Panchikaran. I'll explain to it. But first, let me slowly go ahead. You can remove this. So they have tamas ansha. From that tamas ansha of those 5 elements, the 5 elements. Now what is happening? Sattva gun, whatever has sattva gun can transform into rajogun and tamogun. They are not separate. if we have sattva gun, that sattva gun can transform into rajogun, that sattva gun can transform into tamogun also. So like just now we saw that matter converts into energy, energy again converts into matter. Okay. So similarly, like our body is there, it will convert into 5 elements one day. Those 5 elements will become, I don't know which vegetable or which fruit or lauki, kaddu, somewhere. It was my body. It is my body now. I'm calling it a body. Somebody will eat it. Somebody will eat my body. It's not in this form. It will become a nice mango, or it will become a nice kathal, jackfruit, or it will become nice lichu, something hanging on the. Yeah, that's why your cheeks are like lichu. Last month you were a lychee fruit. So that will again, after eating, it will convert into energy. So matter is converting to energy, energy again converts back into matter. Similarly, sattva converts into rajas, rajas converts into tamas, again tamogun. From tamogun again, they are not separate, we cannot separate them. Tamogun will bring in sattva. It brings in sattva. If we are very tired, tamogun, we go to sleep. Then in the morning again we are fresh. Sattva gun will again come. And with the sattva gun, again rajas will also come. So these three are always together. They are forming from energy to matter, matter to energy. That means energy can create a form. Energy can create a form. So it is creating. So energy, from energy, matter can also come. So these three aspects are interrelated. Subtle becomes gross, gross again becomes subtle. This continuously goes on. So thoughts also become object. Object also becomes a thought. Similarly, this can continue. Okay, so the sukshma. So initially what was there? Initially only the elements in the subtle form were there. Okay, so this is called by sankalp, that by sankalp only the srishti has become. So initially it was in subtle form, in the form of a thought. From that thought, the whole world has grossified into these 5 elements. And this is through panchikaran. This is through panchikaran. So apanchikrit has become panchikrit now. Earlier it was apanchikrit. Apanchikrit, Panchamahabhut, because through that only our sense organs of perception have been made. Sense organs of action have been made. Still, this body is not made. Those powers have been made, and that is why we cannot see those powers. Mind we cannot see, thoughts we cannot see. Those are all apanchikrit. Pranas we cannot see. The rajasic ansha, total rajasic ansha, we made the pranas, pancha pranas. We cannot see. So all those made the panchikrit, apanchikrit. Now they are converting again into panchikrit. There's a process. So anything gross needs a process to grossify. Anything gross needs a process to grossify, to get a shape. So this process of 5 elements have been made. Earlier, they were all existing separately. Now they will merge. Now there's a process through which earlier earth element did not have, it had only gandha, shabd, sparsh, roop, ras, gandh. So it has only gandha, earth element. It does not have a shape. It is not like this, that the earth we see, the earth element. No, it has only gandha. Wherever we can feel the gandha, it is only that earth element. Otherwise, it does not have a shape. It does not have taste. It does not have shabd, does not have roop, rasa, nothing. Only gandh. Only, I'm talking about that earth that is not apanchikrit. This earth that we can see, that gives us the smell, that gives us the fragrance after rain, that is, we can see it. That is panchikrit earth. When it was not in Panchikrit form, it was not in, it did not have any shape. At that time, it had only Gandh. You cannot make out from where it is coming. Water only satiated. It had only the taste. You cannot see anything that after drinking you're feeling that was it. Fire was only seen. Only seen. Fire is only seen at that Apanchikrit level. There was no sound in that, no touch in that, nothing. We cannot imagine that fire. We cannot imagine that earth. We cannot imagine that air. Okay. So when these are separate, these 5 elements are separate, it will give us minimum bhog. It won't give us full bhog. One element only after that grossification takes place has now all the 5 aspects of all 5. Shabd, Sparsh, Roop, Ras, Gandh. It has got all. So for maximizing the bhog, for maximizing the experience of bhog means what? Maximizing the experience of all the sense organs. It can now smell also, it can now touch also, it can now hear also, it can taste also. So maximizing the bhog is done by Panchikara. Otherwise, separate, you cannot. Now, if I say that this is a rose, that is a rose. So that rose has all the 5. It's not that only we can smell it. It has got Shabda also. When it drops, we can hear it. Okay, Shabda. Sparsh also, when we touch it, it's very soft and komal. Then Shabda Sparsh. Roop also, it has got the fire element, however it is seen. Then Ras also, Gulkand, etc. are made by rose only. Then Gandh, last, Prithvi element. The fragrance belongs to the Prithvi element. So all of them have come together to make a flower. Each and everything here, whatever we see, has all the 5. Because it is made up of all the 5. So Panchikrit is needed for all the elements to be perceived by all, otherwise we cannot perceive it. Those 5 elements that are apanchikrit, that is why we cannot perceive them at all. Okay, so what is the purpose? For the sense organs to perceive plus maximize the bhog. Otherwise, the fruit of action cannot be given to that jeev without maximizing the bhog. Okay, so how does it happen? Now I need your attention. How does it happen? Half of the, like we take space element, half of the space element is retained. The next half is again divided into 4. And that space element takes those 4 and gives it to the other 4 elements. What are the other 4 elements? The air, fire, water, and earth. So 1/4 of each element is distributed to the others. And it will retain its maximum portion. That element will retain its maximum portion and take 1/4 of the others. Similarly, the next element is air element. So the air element will keep complete half, maximum portion with it. And the other half, it will again divide into 4. And again, it will distribute to the others. The space, the fire, the water, and the earth. Air has given its next 4 to the other 4. Similarly, with fire. Fire will retain its half, major portion. And that is why the characteristics in fire we can see, because major portion it is keeping with itself. And the next half is being divided into 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. And those 1/4 are divided into other 4 elements: the space, the air, the water, and the earth. It has been divided. Similarly, water element also, it will keep Prithvi element, it will keep its half. And again, the next portion will be divided into 4. And again, space, air, fire, and water will be given the earth's 1/4 element. Now, each element has retained its half completely and taken 1/4 portion of the others. And it has mixed. So, mainly that one portion, that big portion, the majority of portion has been retained. That shows the dominance. That has, but it has got influence of the others also, because 1/4 portion of each element it has got. So when we say space, so the space cannot be seen or perceived. The space is not a, but it has got 1/4 portion of air, 1/4 portion of water, fire, and earth. But actually, the space is so vast that those 1/4 portions, they just scatter in that. They're not visible in the space, that because it is infinite. So all the 1/4 elements get lost in the space. It has kept its half. It has kept its half. So this comes in Vedanta Bodh also. Arguments come in Vedanta Bodh how to prove this space and all. We have many times proved how to prove the space through Anuman Praman. And how are we going to prove space? Tell me. I've told you all many times. How do we prove space? Because we cannot see space. So how are we going to prove space? Who will tell me? I have told you all. Who remembers? Hmm? Who will tell me how will we prove space? Fast. We all forgot. There are 2 ways to prove space. 2 ways. One is Anuman Praman and the other one is Parisheshatnyaya. Anuman Praman, how to prove through Anuman Praman? I've given you a hint, a broad hint. Through Anuman Praman. How are we going to prove? Come on.
By elimination, whatever is not, and then whatever is left is
through Anuman. Sonia, are you saying something? I can't hear you.
Yeah, by elimination, by when you leave what it is not.
Smoke. I can't hear you. But how to prove that the space is there? Sonia, saying something?
Mm, mm. By
Can't hear
elimination,
you. I don't know why I can't hear you.
Hariom,
Yes.
by the method of elimination, whatever is
Yeah, that is Parisheshatnyaya. Good. And through Anuman Praman, how will you say? By method of elimination, yes. 5 elements are there, 5 gunas are there. So if each one has got one guna, then the shabda is remaining. That is Parisheshatnyaya. So there should be one element also that belongs to that guna. And how will you prove through Anuman Praman? The air moves. Where does it move? धूप नहीं, air moves.
in space.
Yeah. So air has to have some other element bigger than it, more pervading than it, where it can move. This is the Anuman Praman. It has to have, because air is not seen. Air is not visible. So it has to have some other element in which it is moving, which is more pervading than the air. This is Anuman Praman. Okay. So here we should So through this, we know that space is there. So here what we were talking about earlier, that was in the Tanmatra form. It was in the Tanmatra form. Tanmatra means only that power. Through that power, then what happened? Then these Tanmatras get Panchikrit and they became this in the gross form. Then Rajogun came, Tamogun came, then it multiplied, grossified. So more is the pervasiveness, lesser and lesser gunas are there. More vyapak, it has to be with less gun. So like smell won't be too prominent in water. Smell is not too prominent in water, but it is very, very prominent in Prithvi element. So water more pervasive than earth. How do we go like that? Water is more pervasive than earth. Fire is more pervasive than water. Then air is more pervasive than fire. Then earth, space is more pervasive than air. Okay, like that it was. So this is called Saptavaran. This is called Saptavaran in Bhagavad. So in fire, more touch is seen than the earth. Touch aspect in the fire is more than the earth. Cause is more pervading than the effect. Whose is the touch element? Whose is the touch element? Air. Air. So air is more pervasive than the fire. Okay, so in fire, more touch is seen than the taste. Than the taste of the Prithvi element. Because this is more pervasive. I hope you're getting the point. No, again, see, water is more pervasive than the earth. I'm going back. Fire is more pervasive than the water. Air is more pervasive than the fire. And space is more pervasive than the air. So whatever is more pervasive, that will be having, that guna will be more pervasive in the other one. What is the characteristic of space? It is shabd. So that shabd will be more pervasive in what? In space. So space is more pervasive than fire. Sorry, air. So in air, that shabd will be heard more than the fire. Similarly here, whatever is more pervasive, that has got more, that is the qualities of that will be seen more in the other element. Cause is more pervading than the effect. Okay, so the gases, the combustible gases make the fire. So air is making the fire. Okay, so fire, and when H2 and O, oxygen, they come together, then they make the water. So in fire also, air element will be more than taste and smell. In fire, this element, air element will be more. In fire, air element will be more than the taste and the touch. Taste and smell. Smell is of Prithvi. Taste and smell. Water element and Prithvi element. Because they are grosser. More pervasive is the fire. Okay. So in this way, Vyavhar would be impossible without Panchikaran. It's not possible. So one body is also a product of this Panchikaran only. Only after Panchikaran, this body has been made. This body comes into existence. So Panchikrita Panchamahabhutaihi Kritam. If you remember, it was said Panchikrita Panchamahabhutaihi Kritam initially. The definition of Sthula Shariram. So from this body, you can have maximum bhog experiences. Because it has all come collectively made all this body, the five elements have made the different experiences for us. Therefore, it is very, very difficult to control all the sense organs to get the joy. Because it has, whenever we are enjoying something, we are enjoying all of them, all the elements. If we are eating food, suppose, so the food has got sight, it has to be have proper view. Yes, it should be decorated well, and whatever, it should be having a pleasant look. Taste should be there. Taste is which element? Water element. It should have proper smell. It is Prithvi element. Proper roop, fire element. Then touch, naturally very hard and very you cannot chew it, or it is very elastic, and the touch should be proper. So all the, and it is taking some space also. So all the elements are expressed through each and every bhog. These all elements, they come together: shape, amount, kind of smell, quality, everything. They maximize our bhog. This is the Maya aspect. They come together and maximize. So many kinds of tastes. Tastes are numberless. You cannot count how many tastes you can get. Smells are numberless. Infinity, this infiniteness in creation, only due to this Panchikaran. For saying it is only made up of 5 elements. But now the permutation and combination, such varied aspects can be got. There's no limitation in Brahmand also. There's no limitation in fragrance. There's no limitation in touch. There's no limitation in sight. Nothing. So Anantyam, Ananta aspect is there. Infinite aspect is there. Okay, so 5 elements in the space. This 1/4 of earth got lost. 1/4 of water got lost. 1/4 of air got lost. So it is so infinite. So Brahmand and Pind, Vyashti and Samashti, microcosm and macrocosm. These are two things. So next I think our next portion comes to, so this is our Panchikaran. Okay, so this is our Panchikaran. What is the next topic? Let me see. Sthula Shariram. So through this, everything has become. Etebhya Panchikrit Pancha Mahabhutebhya Sthula Shariram Bhavati. Now the next topic is Evam Pinda Brahmandayor Ekyam Sambhutam. Oneness between the microcosm and macrocosm will be told now. There's something called microcosm, there's something called macrocosm. Vyashti, Samashti. Pind and Brahmand. Individual and the Samashti. Okay, this topic I think we will start from next time because this is a new topic. So I will end it here. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namah. Hari Om.